Well, your wish is my command. Today's recipe is a mutton recipe, and this one is a pulao from Kabul, very popularly known as a Kabuli Pulao. Hey guys, it's me, the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar, and welcome to Get Curried. Let's begin. Well, the first step is to get the stock right, and while I say I need to get the stock right, it also eventually will get the meat nice and soft. First things first, good quality mutton in a pressure cooker. The next ingredient that goes in are Kabuli chana or chickpeas. Now this is not just geographically known as a Kabuli Pulao, but also because of the inclusion of Kabuli chana or chickpeas. Well, it's important to kind of understand where this came from. 9,500 years ago, there were traces of this found in the Middle East. It also came in India somewhere around the 18th century, and that's where it kind of became a part of our main courses and starters and things like that. These need to be washed well and also need to be soaked for a minimum of 8 hours. Let's add this in as well. Well, by all means, you can add in the garbanzo or the hummus beans, which are the Kabuli or the chickpeas. You can also add in the desi chana, which is the green or the brown variety. And size is the difference, flavor is the difference, taste is the difference. Again, you can bring in your own balance. Now, this is a recipe which does not use garam masala. It uses no ginger, no garlic, no flavors which are kind of untoward or prominently associated with meat. It is very subtly flavored but prominently flavored with cumin and black cardamom. Let's add that. Well, again, black cardamom brings in that smoky element in a recipe like this, which goes wonderfully well with meat. Let's add in salt as required. Well, of course, by all means, we can add in salt later while making the pulao, but this one is to kind of bring in all the flavors out from the ingredients. Let's add in water. Now, this is cold water to begin with. Give this a swirl. We cover this, place the whistle, and allow this to cook under 4 whistles on medium to high flame. While this is getting cooked, let's quickly do some pre-prep for the pulao. First things first, let's slice some red onions. Next is slicing some tomatoes. Finally, some carrots. Cut these into slices to begin with. Let's create bundles of these slices and cut these furthermore. That's where you get these wonderful matchstick-like cuts. Well, this is the 4th whistle. Of course, the flame. Let's do a quick switch. The pressure cooker, of course, goes aside. The cooking pan comes here. On goes the flame. And let's begin the fun. Let's begin the recipe with oil. And to this, I'm going to add in red onions, which are sliced and kept ready. Let's stir this and allow this to turn lightly golden brown in color. That'll take somewhere around 3 to 4 minutes on high flame. The onions are fried and ready. Let's add in the sliced tomatoes. You need to stir this once, twice over, and all you need to ensure is that the tomatoes actually mush up, and that's it. Once the tomatoes have mushed up, I'm going to add in rice. Now this is long grain rice, which has been soaking for 20 minutes in cold water. Let's give this a quick stir, and all of this is happening on high flame. Time to add in the meat, the stock, and the Kabuli chana, which I'm sure is perfectly well done. The chana has cooked perfectly well, and so has the meat. Let's add this straight into the rice. Allow this to cook on high flame. Well, here's a thumb rule for all of you who wish to make this pulao at home. Well, I have added water or stock absolutely and purely through experience. But how much would you add? For every cup of rice, we're going to use 2 cups of water or stock. Remember this as a thumb rule. Add that in, allow this to roll boil for 5 to 7 minutes, and once the water kind of just settles on the top, we lower the flame, cover it and cook it under dum. While that is happening, we'll do something else. Now let's see what that something else is. I'm going to take some ghee in a fry pan. You can add in very little oil, and this is just for namesake. Once this heats, we're going to fry two very critical ingredients. Now these are ingredients that will actually bring in layers of flavor in this very simple yet subtle Kabuli Pulao. Let's add in some golden raisins. And along with this, I'm going to add in the carrots that were cut into matchstick size. We toss this well. Just ensure that it glazes wonderfully well. You're not looking at it to cook, but however, the golden raisins will just kind of begin to balloon up. At this stage, we lower the flame of the pilaf and we add this on top of it. Well, I know a lot of recipes that also kind of use in sugar at this stage, but I'm not using any sugar in this stage. And I'm going to cover this with a cloche or a lid. We cover this and allow this to cook for 20 minutes on low flame. Now what is remaining to cook in this recipe? The mutton is done, the chickpeas are done and ready, onions, tomatoes, everything is done and ready. We're only looking at cooking the rice perfectly well. And with this, off goes the flame, and this needs to stay just like that, covered for at least 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. Let's have a quick check. Our Kabuli Pulao looks absolutely smashing and it's wonderfully flavored. Well, the rice, of course, is done and ready. This straight goes on the dinner table. And with this, your Kabuli Pulao is done and ready. And trust me, if you make it like that, rather, if you make it correctly, you will not need anything else to go with this. Bye for now.